So what I got here is the LinkFlex 85 audio interface by Comica, and it offers some pretty unique features that I've never seen in an audio interface. What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Raul. Glory to God. This is Lifted Noise, and what I'm doing today is looking at the LinkFlex 85 audio interface by Comica. They sent this over to me for review, and I agreed because it has a very unique set of features I've never seen on an audio interface. So I want to go over the ins and outs, briefly, the specs, talk about one thing I had high hopes for, but was kind of a letdown, and then another feature that's pretty unique that actually gives this a really good application despite the cons for people who are standalone beat makers, especially if you got an SP404 MKII, and that's the way you prefer to create standalone, and also for streamers, two things that I do. So, all right, stick around. Let's talk about it. All right, so this is the LinkFlex 85 feature-packed audio interface, as the box says. Works with your smartphone, tablet, computer, 48 volts and high Z, direct monitoring, record, streaming mode, and effects, which is what I want to talk about. It offers up some DSP. It was kind of a letdown, but we're gonna get into it. Yeah, let's just look at the actual physical hardware here. So first thing to look at, we've got XLR combo jack, so you get the high Z, the instruments, 48 volt phantom power each one, so that's cool. You got separate 48 volts buttons for that. Gain knobs, 1/8 inch headphone jack, direct monitoring, loopback, which is for streaming purposes, not something that I use specifically, so I won't get into that. Monitor knob. So yeah, looking at the back, we have a power button, and we have 3 USB-C type inputs, one which is power, and then we have 2 USBs. So I guess the idea here is that you have ability to do multiple computers or devices and record at the same time. I haven't really thought of a situation where that would be useful for me, but maybe you can think of one. Maybe somewhere down the line in the future, I might come to some kind of realization how that might be useful. But it's there, it's an option. So that's one of the things that makes this kind of unique. I haven't seen it in many audio interfaces. Moving over, we have 1/8 inch jacks. We got 3 of them. So this is an out, which would be used if you don't have, a mobile device that takes USB audio, that doesn't recognize USB audio. You could use it this way. And then right here next to your phone, you could plug any device in here. What I've been doing is plugging in my MPK Mini Play. So you could plug in like any keyboard right there to have that going in, and using this kind of as a mixer. So, and then we have another headphone out, and then we have line outs left and right. So here's a feature that is super unique. As far as my experience goes, I've never seen this on an audio interface. So if you have, please let me know in the comments, and I would love to check that out. But so if we look at the back, we got a power button. If I press and hold this, we'll see that this actually has a lithium rechargeable battery in it. Okay. So which gives it a unique application that works for me, and maybe some of you SP users or standalone beat makers out there. But before we get into that, I want to look at the DSP that's offered up in here and this little user interface that you get, which in concept, and before I actually had this in my possession, seemed like a really good idea. And I had other expectations, just being that I come from, the new MPC standalone world where you have a touch screen and you have effects in it and you have the ability to adjust parameters. So I seen the little screen and I thought, oh, okay, DSP, this is going to be awesome. But it doesn't quite deliver as far as that goes, because this isn't a touch screen. Now, it does have some touch capabilities. It's not a touch screen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to plug my mic into this and plug my MPK Mini Play into it so we can kind of hear what it sounds like. If you're curious, what you're hearing me on right now is my audio interface of choice, been using for a little bit now. It's a Universal Audio Volt 176. And I love that thing because it has a compressor. It has 3 compressor options on it. I always keep it on the box, whether I'm doing videos or, doing some kind of rhythm and poetry thing, working those ideas out. I'm going to plug it into this so you can kind of hear the difference and hear what it sounds like. Let's do that now. So this is what it sounds like. I'm running a Rode Procaster dynamic vocal microphone into the Comica now. It's the same mic you were just hearing me running through the UA Volt a second ago. So you can hear some differences. You be the judge. I won't judge, and I think it sounds pretty solid. Some other things that this comes with is actually comes with a couple USB-C cables, which is cool because they thought about everything really they've got these little USB-C to USB, I guess that's type A adapters, and they just kind of hang on there. So that's pretty cool. And then you also get this cable here, which is your 1/8 inch, which would be, I guess, to use for that case where you don't have a mobile device that recognizes USB audio. But in this case, I'm going to use this cable to go out the output of my MPK Mini and go into the Comica. And that'll go into this here. All right, so I got two things plugged in. I got a mic source. I got these keys now. Let's just briefly look over some of the things on the top. I like that I have a mute button. So this is the touch aspect of this. Not a touch screen, but does give you some touchability. So I can mute myself out. So I think that that's a very useful thing to have if you're streaming. And also in this case, using it with the SP, if I was streaming live, so this is how I've been doing this at work, where I'm going out the USB audio on the SP44 MK2 into my phone, and I'm using it in this way. So it's more of a mixer than an audio interface. And I have this ability to carry it around because it's portable. It has a rechargeable battery in it, so I don't have to plug it in anywhere. So in that case, I think it's very useful. And what I've been doing is doing these live stream sessions at work where I need to sample in parts from the mini play, but I don't want to get my voice in there, so I can just mute it out. So that works pretty well. Next, you got a denoiser, which I think sounds pretty decent. So let's just take a listen. So this is my voice now, denoiser on. Pretty smooth the way that it cuts in and out. So also definitely very useful if you're streaming in your situation where there may be some noise in your household. So cool. And now we're back. And now we have an effects section, which I had high hopes for. Like I said, this is not an MPC touchscreen, doesn't have multiple parameters that you can adjust. But what we do have is EQ and reverb. Now, for me, reverb presets on mixers have always been useless. I've never used them. I don't like them. Was hoping to see something like a compressor built into it, kind of like the UA Volt that has compressor presets. It's got like 3 of them. I think compressor presets actually can sound kind of nice. Like, you know, I'm very happy with the UA Volt. So I would have preferred not to see reverb built into this and seen a compressor. So, I mean, we can go through them a little bit. Check, check. Right here is the EQ. We have different EQ. Check, check, check. EQ presets, which I found the middle one to work pretty well. Kind of takes out some of the lows. A long press the effects, it'll switch over to your reverb. Now I'm on reverb, and I could turn them on, and we have 3 different presets. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. So let me just turn those off. So maybe those reverb effects might be useful or fun, like in a live stream setting, but for any type of vocals, if you're into like singing or anything, rapping, doing like the rhythm and poetry stuff that I do, it's not something that's useful to me. So that's basically the DSP, which I was hoping a lot more for. And like I'm saying, would be cool to see. It would be nice to see if it becomes a standard, if we can get touchscreen audio interfaces with, you know, DSP built into them, that you have ability to adjust parameters, something basic like this, but that gives you some power. Likelihood of seeing that, I'm not sure, because it's really niche. It's for people like me who's so stubborn that don't want to move over to a computer. That's the Comica LinkFlex 85 audio interface. Has a unique set of features I'd like to see kind of become standard in some feature audio interfaces by different companies. Probably won't likely see it because I think it is kind of a very niche application like mine. I appreciate something like this that has a lithium battery that's small. It gives you the ability to mix sources and take it with you for your mobile standalone beat making, where you're not using a computer really. You're not using that kind of setup. So for that, it's good. They didn't quite deliver on the DSP, Would love to see that improved upon. If you guys want to check out the Comica, check out some more of its specs. It is available on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. There's only one thing you could do to support the channel. Please give it a thumbs up, or most of all, leave a comment. I like to have a conversation and see what y'all are thinking and what you're up to. What are y'all doing? Like, what is your portable standalone beat making setup looking like? What kind of audio interfaces are y'all using? So, all right, that's it. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, stay humble, lift noise. God bless, be bold, and run with your dreams.